Everybody, hey, I started working on the wiring for the shed and I got the sub panel installed on the back. So what needs to happen now is I need to be able to run a 6-gauge wire from the very front of the house all the way down the side of the house underground here, and then pop it up into the bottom of my sub panel, and then I'm going to go into the shed from there. Now, one of the things that I found out that is if you buy a, say like a 6'3" or a 6'4" wire, or maybe like a 6'3" if you need the red, the black, the white, and the shielded green, one of the things you're going to do is you're going to understand that it's going to be extremely expensive. So a 60-foot or almost 75 feet was going to cost me approximately $400 to buy that cable if I bought it all individually, or if I bought it all as a set, like pre-done 4 wires in one. Instead, I decided to buy individual. So I bought 60 feet of this, and you can see how big that is. That's a big gauge. So I got 60 feet of the red, 60 feet of the black. They did not have the white, so I couldn't buy that, and they didn't have the 10-gauge safety ground, so the green, so I didn't buy that yet either. But once I get that other stuff, I'll be able to run that main line off of, say, a 50-amp circuit on the main board, bring it into the sub panel, and then I'll be able to move it into the shed. Now, one of the things that I did do is I'm going to stay external with a Schedule 80 electrical conduit. That way I can keep it above grade and only go down below grade between the house and the shed. And I think that was a 2-foot. I think I got to go down 24 inches in order to run that below grade to the shed. So that's going to be a little bit of digging. It's not going to be a horrible thing. There's only about 10 feet of that I have to do. Now, I am working with what's referred to as MC cable on the inside of this shed. I don't know what the MC stands for. All I know is that it is I think it's a 14-2, so it's got the black, the white, and the green in it. Here you go. And I think it's a 14 gauge, so it's going to have my hot, my ground, and my safety ground, my green. So I'm going to, I need to put these MC lines into each one of the electrical boxes. And we have 9 boxes going in this tiny little shed, and we did that because we don't want to have to try to put electrical boxes in this thing later if we happen to want them. So we kind of overdid it a little bit. So we're going to have 8 along the bottom and 1 up there for the TV. And then we're going to be able to run our lights off the same line. And we're rocking and rolling right now. So I'm just going to keep on going with these little connectors. These go into the electrical boxes, and the MC line goes into that. That screw goes down, holds everything nice and tight. As you can see, first one's done. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna keep working. I got 1 done, but I've got 2 of these connectors per box for the remainder. So I have 8 more to go, times 2. I got 16 more of these things that I gotta put in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Hope you're enjoying it. See ya. Bye-bye. is there is a small cutter that you can use for this stuff. I'm doing it the hard way, just unraveling this stuff a little bit at a time. But I don't have the cutter, so I'm just gonna do this the way that is cheap, and that is just to unravel it with a pair of pliers. The problem is that you catch your fingers on stuff, and this stuff is kind of sharp. So, if you're gonna do this, please be careful. Don't give blood to your projects like I do every single time. There we go. Sometimes it unravels a little quicker. Hey, pup. Hey. Let's see, gotta go a little bit further. So I gotta do this for every single box. I gotta put these connectors in, and what they are is they shield the cable from rubbing anywhere on this electrical box, and then it doesn't allow it to maybe fray the cable, which is not good for electrical, especially when you have a metal building. Okay. Go. Once this is done, then I'll be ready to go with my insulation. That'll be fun. Those things just pop right in. It's so easy. All the new stuff that they've got out now, it's so nice. All right. Now goes in. You screw this down. There we go. That one is done. So that is how it's done. So we have our input and our output going to the next box. And we daisy chain these things. I got 4 outlets on this side, probably on a 15 or 20 amp circuit. I'm going to have another 15 or 20 amp circuit on the other side. We're going to have 5, and then it goes to the lights. But we're running super low draw LEDs in this place, so it's going to be pretty low on the probability that I'm going to pop any breakers. So I've just got a few more to go. I'm going to put this thing on time lapse, and let's get this done. See you later. Bye bye. Hello! All right, I am on the roof. I'm switching things up. I switched from electrical. I got sick and tired of doing that for a little bit. Now I'm on the roof and I need to put the lap screws in. Now the lap screws are a little bit different than the tech screws. The lap screws hold the joints together between the 2 pieces of our panel. So for instance, if we have this one right here, it looks like it's overlapping this one. We need to put the lap screw in to hold it down, and that's what that's for. So they're a little bit different than the tech screws. They have a little bit different thread on them. They're a little bit longer. So that's what we got right there. And match the color of the charcoal gray top, because we did not go ahead and get the black top, just because. What do we got going on here? Okay, so here's what's happening. I talked to Shannon, and Shannon said she wanted wood on the front of this thing. I completely agree with the wood. We're gonna do horizontal slat wood, like a tongue and groove, or maybe an over, you know, like something that starts in the bottom and overlaps all the way up. There's a 5-inch option, there's an 8-inch option. She has to figure that one out first. So I need to pull all of the R panel off the front. I just pulled one off. That came off super fast. I just need to, because of this piece of trim up top, I have to use a wrench. Take off all the screws and all the little fittings at the top underneath that piece of trim, because the trim is being held down by the roofing material. So I am going to pull these panels off and see how far I can get before the sun goes down. And then we're going to start we're going to do plywood. We're going to do a Tyvek type paper, so it's a waterproofing paper over the top of that. Then I'm going to tape the seams, and then we're going to put the tongue and groove, or the wood on the front of that, and it's going to completely transform the entire look of this shed. And the lights that she has picked out are amazing. I'm going to love installing these things, and I can't wait for everybody to see these. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put this thing on time lapse and see how much we can get done before the sun goes down. See you later. Bye bye. Enjoy. Hello again. Hey, what you just saw, I got 2 pieces of the R panel off. I need to work on the remainder of the front. I got 3 more pieces to do. 2 little ones and 1 really long one on the end, full-size panel. And I just got a little bit late and I didn't feel like continuing on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the R panel off the front. Then I'm gonna need to figure out the door. We have a little bit of binding issue. I'll show you what we got. When I close this door, now I think this original beam right back here, this original beam may be bowed just a little bit this way. So when I close this door, it binds right about here. You can see that hit right there. So it hits, and I have to gotta kind of push it closed. Gotta kind of force it in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break the seal on this door once I get the R panel off, and I'm gonna try to reset this door, maybe try to push it out just a little bit. That might help us a little bit, and it might make this door a little bit nicer to close and open. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get in it. Here we go. Let's have some fun. Bye. Boy, I tell you what, it is only about 8 o'clock in the morning on this Saturday, and it is already in the 90s. I'm already sweating, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep persevering. So I got the door fixed. I had to pull this J panel off, this J trim, and then I had to shim the door. So now when I close it, it closes nice and easy. So now we don't hit anymore. I do have to adjust this piece right here so this can latch. But other than that, when I go inside and I look at how this thing closes, nice and tight now. There we go. So I had to shim that, if you can see those shims in there. I shimmed that, and I shimmed it all the way down on the outside. So now we're good. Now I did notice that the door is slightly warped, so I had to actually shim the frame of the door to match the warped door, which is, never had to do that before, but hey, I did that because I didn't feel like fighting with the vendor, since I've had this door for months and months, and they'd probably say that it was something I did wrong anyway. So anyway, she closes good. Now we're gonna get some of this plywood on here. Now, I'm gonna do 3 separate panels. I'm gonna do one over there, I'm gonna do one over here, and then I'm gonna do one at the top. But then I'm gonna have a little bit of gap at the very top of both sides, because this is only 8 feet tall, and that is a 9-foot span. So I'm gonna have about a 1 foot at the top, but I'll be able to use some of the remnants from that middle piece to take care of that. So, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this up here, and it's gonna change the look. It's really gonna change the look. So I'm gonna start cutting. I got my saw. Let's see, where are you? It's gonna be in the shed, I do believe. All right, I'm probably a big silhouette right now. Okay, yes. Oh, and I hit a different Lowe's, and I was able to find, because I already had the red and the black 6 gauge. I found the white 6 gauge, and I found the green 10 gauge, as well as my Schedule 80 unions. So now I can run that line from the main panel all the way to the sub panel on the shed. So that's where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on cutting. So I've marked out the very first piece of plywood. I'm gonna cut this, get this thing up, and see what we look like. All right, here we go. See you soon. Bye-bye. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Always wear eye protection. I think we might have popped a breaker here. Let's see. Let's see if that wasn't plugged in. Nope. Darn it, I think we popped a breaker. All right, it appears that my extension cord just took a dump. I don't know why, I just put a new extension cord on there and it's working just fine now. So let's get some cutting done. I just decided that I was going to use a wood blade to partially saw into a cinder block, so I just destroyed my blade. So we're good. I got that one piece cut. Got to change the blade out before I cut any more, but we'll see how this fits. Okay, first piece is in. Had to modify the J trim just a little bit, but it's in, so there we go. Now I gotta do the other side, then I'll work on the middle. I'm liking it. Enjoy it. Okay, you can see I've changed my shirt and I've already started sweating through this one. I literally sweat through my long sleeve shirt to where it looked like I threw it in the swimming pool and then put it on. So it's about 30% humidity and already 100 degrees, and it is 10:15. So I finished the plywood on the front, and now I'm starting to install the waterproof paper. So it's kind of like that brand called Tyvek, but this is a Lowe's brand because it's virtually the same stuff and it's about half the price. So really all I needed was about, let's see, I had 135 minus 50, I needed about 82 square feet of this paper, and the smallest roll I can get is 300 square feet. So I'm gonna be, I bought 2/3 more than I needed. So I decided to spend just a little bit on this instead of the $70 roll. I just decided to spend $30 or so on this one. So anyway, so this is going to go over the plywood below the wood slats or the tongue and groove, whatever we decide to go with, and this will keep it all insulated as far as any water getting to the plywood below the exterior finish. So here is kind of what it looks like. Check that out. So I'm just going to go to the other side, then I'm going to go up a little further and go over, and then I'm going to run one all the way across the top. And I don't know if I'll have to go all the way up underneath that eave there, but I plan on covering as much of it as I can. Since I have the paper, I might as well use it. So it is just flipping hot out here. I keep sweating through everything I got, but if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? It's going to be summer for a long time here. And we have had, I think today marks the 41st or 42nd straight day over 100. And I've just continued to work in this stuff as much as I can. So it's just one of those things. We gotta, just like I always say, persevere, embrace the suck. So here we go. I'm gonna keep working on this, and it's not really that exciting, but I'll let you see what I'm doing. It's pretty fun. See you later. Bye.